Smiling Faces, the podcast, is a Defiantly Me production. To learn more, visit them on Instagram at Defiantly Me Productions.
How do I get a hold of you at the end of it all? Like, we used to write letters back in, the olden days. And at the bottom of the letter, you had to put your name and your phone number and your address so that people could get back to you.
You did, on the envelope and the letter, just in case the two never met again.
I find that comment offensive, first of all, because I'm older than you. So when you say olden days...
But we're a part of the olden...
Whoa,
we're
relax.
a part of the olden days
relax
with you.
With the significant. She doubled down with violence. How am I not supposed to respond to that?
Listen.
I was going to just skip on past that.
I'm sure you were, because you're the youngest one here.
She's the youngest one?
Yeah.
I've never had this before. This is a treat for me. I'm usually the oldest.
Just relax with the olden days.
Back in the 1900s, we wrote letters.
See, now you've gone too far. Now you're choosing violence. 1900s.
Have you seen the theme of this podcast? We choose violence. We choose violence and revenge over calm and quiet, gentle healing.
Always.
Oh.
Welcome back to episode 28 of Smiling Faces, the podcast. I'm Victoria Dunn.
And I'm Jess Anguiano, and we are executive producers of Smiling Faces, our hit show about two girls who discovered they're dating the same guy while working at a toxically positive spin studio.
On this podcast, we provide you with unfiltered conversations about dating, heartbreak, revenge, and living your best life.
I know that I just saw you both like a week ago, and I missed you.
I know, I missed you too. It's been ages, darling.
We usually talk we talk a lot. We talk like every day or every other day. We talk a lot, and I was out of town for a couple of days, and I missed
you. Were gallivanting in the streets, and I saw things. I was like, don't even wait. Just text her. She'll see it when she sees it. It's fine.
You did text me some gold, which I may or may not share. We'll have to use some discretion, some work drama.
First of all, you can't tease it because I don't know nothing about what y'all are talking about, and then go, maybe we'll talk about it. No, you're definitely going to have to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was it wasn't crazy, but basically I saw online, and then in the trailer for the new Brett Favre documentary, that one of the coaches that trains at Witty Titties, which we love, is in the documentary. Yes. She's got some drama with Brett Favre that she shares in the doc. And so I was like, oh, snap. Our comedy coach is in this documentary. Brett Favre wasn't great. Shocker.
Yeah, nobody's shocked about that. I tell you, living out here in Los Angeles, you hear some stories about the people, you never meet your heroes sort of stuff where you're like, really? No, not that guy, not that comedian, not that football player.
Yeah.
And it's always that guy, comedian, football player.
I know. I've only had 2 instances that I can think of off the top of my head where I've met people that I admired, like male comedic people, and they were perfection. One was Jim Carrey. The other one was Joel McHale. They both absolute peaches.
Wait, pull over. You met Jim Carrey and Joel McHale, 2 of my favorite comedians. Are you kidding me?
Yes, they were so nice. It was both of them happened when I was a barista at the Tea Room, not the one in downtown, but the one on Melrose Place. Jim Carrey came in and he didn't know what he wanted, but he said he wanted to try matcha. So I recommended how I drank my matcha when I was there. I do matcha lattes more, but I did a matchacano and put a little pump of honey in it. And he goes, oh, okay. And he was really soft spoken. And he goes, and I have $50 cash. Is that okay? And I went, ooh, we're actually cashless. So it's card only. And he goes, okay, putting that up. Like, he was super chill about it. And then he pulled out his card and paid, and he sipped it. And he goes, oh, this is amazing. You're a wizard. And I was like, may I quote you? And I got very excited. And he sat out and we had a little, I know, it's like, it's on my resume now. And he sat outside in our little hallway alley to the cafe and just sat there by himself, no book, no headphones, just enjoyed his tea. And I remember a customer came in and her mom was from out of town and she goes, oh my gosh, my mom loves Jim Carrey. Do you think that he'd be okay if we go talk to him? I was like, this is first time in, but he seems fucking chill, sis. I'd say go for it. And so they did. And apparently he was really nice to her mom, took pictures with her and everything. He was an absolute gem. And the other one was Joel McHale. And Joel McHale came in and ordered 2 different drinks. Like he ordered a large milk tea and then left and came back like 10 minutes later and ordered another one. And I was like, damn, you good?
He was thirsty.
He was very thirsty. And I made him laugh because there was some stuff we had on shelves that said, I think it was like that the products would help with brain function or something like that. And he goes, does this actually help with brain function? I went, it says it does. And he busted out laughing. I was like, okay, I made Joel McHale laugh. That's all I needed. I'm good. I can clock out.
I happen to know without a shadow of a doubt, of course you made him laugh. You're one of the funniest people I know. I love it that he got to taste a little flavor of your humor. I love it that those two people are good, kind humans. I am a huge fan of both of them. And I'm very excited for you. And I'm excited to know you because now I'm 1 degree separated from 2 of my favorite comedians.
Yes. Especially because, I mean, I was just a lowly barista and they were nice. So I'm like, okay, this is how they are. Because, you know, they always say, however people treat someone who can't do anything for them is their nice barometer of who they are. So boom.
All you did was give them tea.
Mm-hmm. Nothing deep.
And apparently a double dose for Joel McHale.
Yeah, because those were big. He got the large too. He got 2 large milk teas. I hope he's not lactose.
Must not have a problem with lactose.
Dairy?
Clearly not, right. The bowels must be doing
a lot of milk, bro.
No, milk is really good to drink after a workout. And I happen to know he's good. He's like a workout junkie. He's like a workout guy.
Oh, well, at least he actually pays because somebody came for a run once into the tea room and said, oh, I don't have my wallet on me, but I'll get you guys next time. And we never saw him again.
And this was a famous person?
Mm-hmm.
I love when celebrities are real people. That's what I love.
Wait, is that a real person thing to do? Well, like, would you walk into Taco Bell and be like, hey, look, I don't have my wallet, but I promise I'll be back well, if it's your local Taco Bell, you'd go back. If it was my
local and I was a regular, but
Correct.
At least when I worked there, I never saw him again. So explain it. And I know he's got money.
Well, here's the thing. Whoever that person was, because we won't throw shade. I like that we led with the kind people. Whoever that person was, you happen to know karma comes for those people.
Which is why they're real people.
You can't lie to your barista. You can't lie to your barista.
Because it'll come back to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. In some way, he's going to reap that $8.
It's true. But I love when famous people are nice, actually cool people. I've met a couple in my life. Billy Currington. They're going to be a lot of country people because I worked in country music.
Oh, I was like,
oh, that's right.
But I met Billy Currington. He had no shoes on. He was high.
Outside.
He like walked over to me. He shook my hand as he was leaving this meet and greet. He looked me dead in my eyes, deep blue eyes, looked me right in my eyes and was like, thank you for being here. I was like, of course, man. Thanks for looking into my soul with those deep, deep blue eyes. Shaking my hand with no shoes on. I was like, okay, Billy Currington, you got it.
Wow. That's a down home country boy.
Yeah. When he looked into your eyes, did you just whisper, I love you too? Right back to him?
I'm not gonna say that to another white man. No, not in public.
Oh, so brown men can get that. I love you.
Oh, brown dudes get all the love.
Oh, noted.
You're not going to share any love with the white boys? Haven't you heard? There's an epidemic of loneliness. They need it.
Of their own doing.
Not my problem. I'm married.
Mike's not lonely. And you're surrounded by women.
All the time.
Right. Facts.
All the time.
It's true.
Mike's like, I'm doing great. Yes.
Wait. We are getting way off topic here. We've got to talk about updates on our hot hit show, Smiling Faces, and our pre-production phase. I would even venture to say this is the pre-production phase.
Yes.
And this week, every week we've been bringing you some hot tips on how do you bring the project to life. Last week, we talked about rewrites. Very exciting. I've been reading through. Victoria did some gorgeous rewrites to help get the script in a place where we can shoot it. And this week, we are going to tell you about the pitch deck. Before we do, though, this is kind of exciting news. So one of our dear listeners, also friend of the podcast, is starting her own business. And I won't say her name because I didn't get permission to or not, but she did come up to me and she said, I loved what you said about the brand kit, creating a brand kit, which is a couple episodes ago. You should go back and listen to our brand kit episode because she had a great plan. She had great content on her social media. However, she was really dissatisfied because she felt like people didn't quite understand that she was running a business. And someone else who listens to our podcast chimed in and said, Jess talked about that on their one of their episodes. You should listen to the episode about the brand kit. And she went back and listened and said, oh my gosh, that's great. She pulled open what we recommended. She pulled open templates. She made herself a brand kit. Her social media is skyrocketing. She's building an online course, and ideally, we will share that with you when she's ready to share. So
not us helping. It's almost like we're actually giving helpful information, guys. What?
Hello. Thank you, listener feedback.
Yeah.
If you have your feedback out there, you want to tell us how you're feeling about what you're hearing? We'd love to hear it. And then we'll tell.
We do this.
Yeah.
We do this. That's
Yes.
like, it's just simple as that. We do this.
We do this.
Boom.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there. I'll shut up now.
No. We do this. Then he fades back into the shadows. There's just like a motivational line. We do this. And then back out. Back into the recesses. Right.
We do
just
this.
A black Homer Simpson into the bushes. That's how you
love it.
I never imagined a black Homer Simpson, and I now can never picture it any other way. That's the only way I want it in life.
It's too good.
Beautiful. So we want to give you some updates, something that we have crafted, not only a branding kit, which we just whipped together on Canva, quite frankly, using a template on Canva about branding. It guides you, kind of holds your hand. We used that branding kit to help streamline our pitch deck. And I know you took some courses in building a pitch deck. I've reviewed quite a bit. I used to work at the studio system, as all of you know. And so we used to read through pitch decks all the time. The spectrum is wild on how much effort is put in or how very little effort is put in. And I have to say, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of our pitch deck. I think we've tweaked it quite a bit. We've zeroed in on the look. Our brand kit helped do that. But yeah, you took some courses.
For sure. Yes. We submitted and got into a program called Cinephilia. And Doreen is amazing. Doreen, I believe her last name is Holt. She does these workshops for people. You submit your information, you pay to take these courses. And the first one was this development course that I took. And a lot of it does end in you having a finalized pitch deck, which is amazing. So there were a lot of questions that she had us do in the weeks leading up to the finalization of the pitch deck that you had to know the answers to, because you don't want to build a visual medium about something that you don't know what it all is completely. So if you have an idea, she had a lot of core questions that we had to answer. So a lot of them were, what is the theme of what you're doing? What is the core conflict? Where does this take place? What are the sequence of the main events, the precipitating incident or like the inciting incident? So we had to have that. What moves the characters forward? What moves the action forward? What are the obstacles? There were all these different questions. It was like an intense workbook that we had to answer these questions of. And then once we got through that, we did a breakdown of acts. typically a 3-act structure, but now things are kind of in almost a 5-act structure, technically, for TV and film. So if anything, which TV, I will say, much more labor intensive now to do that 5-act structure, because you're essentially doing that structure over the entire season, as well as a mini truncated version of that in each of your episodes. So it's a lot more work. And what are your A and B storylines? So there's a lot happening that you're doing of the pre-work.
That is such a great lineup of questions. And even if you are listening and you're hearing 11, 12 questions that Victoria just fired off.
Rattled off.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. We're professionals over here.
Casually. Answer do you have those answers?
What is the theme of your project?
Tell me. What's the inciting incident? Go.
What are the obstacles that your characters overcome in order to create a bond by the end? So, yeah, I love it. So even if you only hear 2 or 3 of those questions and have 2 or 3 of those questions answered, you're going to be a lot further along than most people think they are as you're creating this pitch deck. And maybe we should reel it back for just a second and make sure everyone understands what a pitch deck is.
Fair.
In essence, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, go for it.
No, you.
Yes.
No, you.
So the pitch deck is essentially your visual representation of what the story is, what your project is. It's showing your entire vision for it. I believe we said previously on other episodes that the likelihood of people reading your script, pretty slim. So what's easier to do is to send them a pitch deck explaining exactly what your vision is, what the story is. So it's a breakdown of the overall project in a visual medium, which, let's be real, creatives love to just look at things and get their answer anyway of what it is.
Yep.
But this is basically the overarching representation or presentation of your project. And any project can benefit from having a pitch deck. So if it's a short film, web series, a pilot, a feature, you definitely want to build a pitch deck, because not only is it helpful, whether you're pitching it to other people or not, it's helpful, I think, to ground the team, to know what the overall vision is, make sure you have all your ducks in a row, because there are questions that you have to answer in the pitch deck to tell people. And it's definitely more visual than wordy. So don't get bogged down. Kind of the same rules of when you were in school and did, I'm aging myself now, PowerPoint presentations. Now you guys call them slide decks for some reason. But
but the fact that you know that means you're hip in with the kids.
Right? At least I know what they're calling it. Yes.
They changed the name of the PowerPoint?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they now just say it's a slide deck.
Why?
You're welcome. Because they hate us and they want to keep changing the words.
Wait, you're asking why? You know they say no cap instead of honestly.
Yeah, I know about no cap.
There's always a new language.
Yes, you do.
There's always a new lingo.
I know about no cap. I just don't understand why they changed the name of something that worked just fine called PowerPoint.
Also, it's to make sure who's current. It's the same way the Catholic Church changes prayers.
But
I'm not bitter.
We gotta bring Jesus every episode. Jesus gotta be coming in.
I'm gonna leave that one exactly where it is. Never mind.
It's the show
to touch a nerve.
It's just like how the Catholics update the prayers, the children update the homework assignment titles, and they're not PowerPoints anymore. They are slide decks.
Yes.
And you are making a slide deck of all of your thoughts and hopes and dreams about the project that you're working on. So at the very bare minimum, you're going to have a title page with a font that you've pulled from your branding kit in the color scheme that you've pulled from your branding kit. You're going to have imagery of your characters, either wish list people that you want. If you're like, oh, I really want to cast Jim Carrey in my short film, put his face on a slide deck next to whoever he's co-starring against. Perhaps Jess and Geno. Maybe they meet and fall in love.
Perhaps, perchance.
It's a great short film. Somebody should write it.
Right,
and
somebody should do that.
Somebody should do that. And then you want to have a small summary, 5 sentences of what happens. And there's no, for the love of God, as we bring Jesus into every one of our episodes. For the love of God, do not hide the ending. In your pitch deck, you're telling the story. Tell us how it ends. Do not have a false ending. Do not have it. And then we just don't really know what happens. Tell people what happens.
We love a resolution.
They're not here for the mystery. You're not unfurling the tale. Tell people what happens in your summary. Make sure you have a log line. If you don't have a log line, we'll do an episode about log lines, which is its whole own thing as you're writing.
It definitely is.
Yeah, you want to have imagery of the setting, the location of where you're shooting, ideally where you'd like. It doesn't have to be perfect, but is it an idyllic forest? Is it a university? What do they call universities?
Campus?
Nailed it.
That word whooped your ass. I love it.
That one got me today. That one got me.
That's fair.
I'm not going to lie. So you're going to want to have like 5 or 6 pages minimum,
Oh, definitely. I pulled up our pitch deck here. So title, log line page. She actually prompted us to have an intention, which is more of like a personal story to connect to it, because it kind of answers the question that a lot of people ask, especially if you are pitching it, which is, why should you be the one to tell this story? So the intention slide really covers that answer. So having that is very helpful. And of course, yes, we got into cast. Each lead cast should really have their own page, and then supporting cast can be their own grouping page together. Keep those kind of brief. And like Jess said, your preferred cast or type that you'd like to cast for that. The other one was, there was almost creative slides. So just visually how you want it to look. So it kind of couples with the branding, but it's more so just visually, which these pages are more for the cinematographer and the production designers on what you want the look and feel. It gives tone for that. So you have to think about that and the color schemes and everything. And then for Smiling Faces, there's a lot of touching on music. Like music is a driving force with some of these scenes and storytelling. So there's a slide in here about the type of music that's being played in this. There is the settings, like Jess mentioned. So the locations have very specific looks. You don't want just, I don't know, a living room.
A brown house.
Yeah, like what does that brown house look like? What does
a university place?
Right, a university place. Is it
a university location?
Is like an old college that's been around for centuries? Is it a sleek new college? Is it I don't know, what do you call it?
Community college campus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Words.
Yeah.
Community college. There's different specifics you can get into. So you really got to dig through photos for that stuff. And then you want to break down the overall story, like Jess said, the beginning through end, like show them that you actually know what the fuck you're talking about and that you have a plan. So it can't just be, these people fall in love and then, do they? You can't just end on a question. That's annoying. So ours for the season has season 1, and there's a mini breakdown of every single episode so they can follow along. It's just like 3 sentences at most for each episode, and the titles, because they also want the titles of the episodes. You can't just say episode 7. You have to actually say what the hell all these episodes are titled, because they want to see that stuff too. And then for shows, planning out future seasons. You want to have at least 2 seasons ahead to, again, show that you have a plan. That's important. And then the final couple slides are she called them comparables. So it can either be comparables, show cross, things like that. So what other projects have a similar feel, whether it's tone wise, story wise, look wise, anything like that, or vibe. And no more than 4, like 3 to 4 is kind of the good.
Oh, people love that. They love to either have comps. They say, it's a lot like Home Improvement or Euphoria. Or they love to do a, Titanic meets Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It's a Western on a boat,
that.
But they all die.
Yeah, honestly, though,
everybody dies. That's
everybody
what makes
dies.
it the same.
Exactly.
That is a terrible pitch.
It's a great pitch. It's a horror film.
Everybody dies.
But then
it's a horror film, spaghetti Western on a boat. Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
Where everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
I totally watch that.
That's crazy.
But but you know exactly what that means by hearing those two comparables, do you not?
You got a picture in your mind.
But I'd be pissed off that you're pitching me a show where everybody dies.
Okay, but then season 2, boom, now we're in a ghost story. Now what?
Stop. What are we doing, an anthology?
Yeah.
Mike, not every project is for everyone, okay? Not everyone wants a cupcake when they could have a bunt cake. That's why we have cupcake stores and bunt cake stores, okay? Two very different things.
There we go. See? And
okay, guys, whatever you say. I don't need everybody dying, though. Like, we need one person.
Oh my God.
Here's the greatest thing about your pitch deck. I would say this out of everything. Your pitch deck can be as dense as you want it to be or as light as you want it to be. And overall, that leads to the tone. If you have something light and hilarious, but you have a 16-page pitch deck full of words, you're not matching the tone. Your pitch deck, every single word in your pitch deck is an opportunity, which is why, for example, you say episode 1 is a waste of words when you could name it.
Let me see.
Butch Cassidy takes the ocean by storm.
There we go. Because then they understand from that title, oh, we're doing some goofy shit. Yeah, every chance is an opportunity to get your point across so specifically. It's important. And then, of course, last things are just your creative team and a contact slide. She said that was a big thing that she sees a lot is people don't, if you are going to pitch it, people don't put how to reach you. She's like, I've seen great pitch decks and then there's no contact information. Like, what am I to do with this? Now I've got to dig through emails of who sent it to me to find the person. Crazy work. Yeah.
You, of course, we can't forget how do I get a hold of you at the end of it all? Like, we used to write letters back in, the olden days. And at the bottom of the letter, you had to put your name and your phone number and your address so that people could get back to you.
You did on the envelope and the letter, just in case the two never met again.
I find that comment offensive, first of all, because I'm older than you. So when you say olden days.
But we're a part of the olden.
Whoa,
we're a part of the olden days with you.
With the significant. She doubled down with violence. How am I not supposed to respond to that?
Listen,
I was going to just skip on past that.
I'm sure you were, because you're the youngest one here.
She's the youngest one?
Yeah.
I've never had this before. This is a treat for me. I'm usually the oldest.
Just relax with the olden days.
Oh, back in the geriatric time, back in the 1900s, we wrote letters.
See, now you've gone too far. Now you're choosing violence. 1900s.
Have you seen the theme of this podcast? We choose violence. We choose violence and revenge over calm and quiet, gentle healing.
Always.
Oh,
terrible.
Speaking of gentle healing.
Go, girl. Talk about
what's up with them dates?
No, me and my dates. I thought I was going to ask about you and your gentle healing. My dates, I did go. So I went out of town last weekend, but the weekend before, I decided to choose violence in my own life. And I went on 3 dates with 3 different men. I just went hard. I was bouncing back hard from getting broken. Well, not broken up with, but having my relationship end. I broke up with him, and
you absolutely did.
But I wasn't happy about it. I had to, so it feels like my hand was forced, and I was angry about it. So I went out and I met some fabulous new people, and went out on 3 dates in 3 days.
Damn, girl.
And it was a lot. It was too many. I do not recommend dating 3 men in 3 days. That was a bold one for me. I've never done that before.
That's a lot of makeup.
Oh, it was so much work. Oh, gosh. I think by the last day, also, you have to remember what you say or what, I'm like reading up. I'm like, what did we talk about? Going back on the text messaging. And it was 3 first dates, by the way. So here's the thing. The first one it was surprisingly lovely. I don't know if there's any chemistry really there. However, ended up in in like a kind of a part of town I don't spend a lot of time in. It was very suburban like, and we sat, I haven't had this kind of experience. On a first date, we met for coffee, but it wasn't just coffee. He brought a blanket and he said, I like to sit by the river. Why don't we take our coffees down and sit by the river? And it was a hot day. And I was like, we are going to bake. And he found this little pocket of shade right by the river. And we sat by the river and drank our coffee and talked about the birds. And it was so relaxing. I couldn't believe how chill it was.
Not a plug, but did y'all go to La Colombe?
Maybe
over
no, it was
Frogtown?
3 dates, and it was like 3 dates in like one weekend. So I can't remember the name of the coffee shop, but that sounds right. It was.
Were you in Frogtown?
Okay,
like
listen,
by the LA River.
Victoria, I'm trying to be vague about where I was in case this person looks me up. Okay.
Sorry, because I was
Victoria's
I know that.
Was it noon on Saturday, May 17th? Was the person you went out with named Riley? Is his phone number 555?
Only because I love that coffee shop, and that's where Joy and I go after we golf over in that area.
So you go on golf dates over there. Yes, it was. I'm pretty sure that was the place. What was kind of cool,
that place.
The date was lovely. The sitting by the river was very, very nice. It was very hot. We walked. It was nice. Something I got really excited about is that I parked right in front of a garage sale that was selling a bunch of building material. And I was like, I am going to stop by this garage sale when I leave this date. But he walked me to my car, so I couldn't. I couldn't casually shop.
What if you were like, all right, I'll see ya, and then just wait for him to drive off, and then no, you come first, and then you just open the door and go back.
The joke was he went to the garage sale after I drove off.
Damn it, you should have gone. What are you doing?
You should have gone.
I didn't want to buy, I was going to buy a lot of big stuff. I wasn't ready to reveal all of my gardening, my new plans for my garden. It was a first date and it was hot.
I mean, that's a lovely thing to learn. It's not like you were going to say, oh, I don't want him to know about my doll collection or whatever. I don't know.
I don't have a doll collection. Okay. Just
you're like me and my
2 dolls. Okay.
My Madame Alexander dolls. I can't let him know I have a room dedicated to them. Like
in this economy,
the fact that you're like, I can't let him know I have a rose bush. That's crazy. It's too much too soon.
No, I have epic plans for my garden.
That's the crazy part. Yeah. You can't let him know you got a rose bush with some thorns.
What will he think?
Oh no.
He probably thinks I'm out here naked in my rose bush on a regular basis. That's why I can't tell him about it.
Immediately goes sexual.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I bet she's just wallowing around in her garden naked with just rose petals covering her bits.
In this dating economy, they do all sit around and think that. You say rose garden and they're like, who? Like Adam and Eve, she never wore clothes. So it was, that was the loveliest date. The other 2 dates were fine. It was nice. Everybody was a gentleman. It was not a bad time. And then I immediately had family in town and then immediately went out of town. So it's been kind of like a decent amount of time. Oh, I did go out with one of them a second time already. And yeah, and it was fine. It was lovely. All 3 of them have kept in contact. They're doing very, very casual updates. I have been very busy. I've been hiking all over Zion. I took my brother all over town when he was here, museums and food and shows and all that. So I have not really had a moment to think about it. I will say it was fun. It was funny. Okay. It was fun. Oh, one of the guys, this is kind of wild. One of the guys that I went out with, I met during the pandemic on the dating app.
Yeah.
Have you done this where you're like swiping and then you're chatting with somebody and then you're like, oh no, I've met them before and I forgot that I had met. Have you ever had that happen?
You talked about this dude last week.
Yeah.
And then you were going out on a date and I wanted to know how the date went. So now let's get to the juicy part.
I do remember this. Yeah.
If you want to know about the guy, listen to last week's episode. I want to know the juicy part. let's skip all the exposition. Let's get to the real shit.
Okay. We did go on a second date, and it was interesting. I will say,
tough word.
I know. Well, here it was rough because I really didn't have time to go. It was like sandwiched between my brother leaving and me heading out on this girls' trip. And what happened is we had arranged to meet on the west side of town, but I had ended up being way east. And the restaurant that he had said, let's meet here, there were two of them, and I went to the wrong one.
Oh, no.
Now,
where
that's on me for not checking, but that's on him for not sending an address.
Was the other restaurant location you went to on the east side versus west side?
It was about 17 minutes away. It wasn't terrible. I was 20 minutes late because of it.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a bummer in rush hour traffic. However, he took it in stride. He was very kind about it. We had some pasta. It was nice. I'm going to be honest with you. I was way too busy thinking about packing and getting on the road for this trip. So we had a nice time, and I was like, we got to wrap this up. So yeah, I'll probably see him again. You know, we're being very casual about this. It's far too soon after ending it with Target, you know?
Got you. That's fair.
What about you? Any updates on the dude from the wedding?
No, because I got stuck. I know. I'm so mad. I didn't get to go to the thing I was invited to because I got stuck recording other podcasts I do, and we had technical issues, and it held me up too much. But I texted him and said, I'm so sorry. I can't make it. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'll definitely be at the next one. But what I've learned from his friend, who is a mutual, that apparently this whole bad texting thing, that's just him. I thought it was me and it was personal. Turns out this is his operation. He's very career oriented. So everything that he does is business and work and career growth, and everything else gets pushed to the side. So I have to make peace with whether or not that's a thing I want to pursue or not. We did text a little bit, and I told him that we should go to Cinespia sometime. So, because I sent pictures from that, because I ran into mutual friends that we both know there that had the wedding that I went to and met him at. So we're gonna try that, but nothing there. And with the other dude,
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. This is the moment of growth. We're gonna see, because he said something wild and I'm not sure. Because apparently I'm the first person that he's ever courted who has a schedule. So he said he's not used to this when I said, hey, let's plan a time for us to meet up. And he said, direct quote, I'm not used to planning my fun. And I went, well, I was like, you will never see me if you call me the day of and ask me to come out that night. I will already have filled that time up. I hope you know that. So let's look at our schedules, because you also have multiple jobs, and let's find a time that works for both of us. And he was like, damn, I'm learning you. And I went, when are you free? And this man said to me with a straight face, after 11. And I went, PM? And he said, yes. And I went, sir, those are fucking hours. You have to pick a God-fearing hour. Ain't no way you're seriously dating someone and only meeting them after 11 p.m. Fuck out of here. So if you don't give me a 7 o'clock, I swear to God.
I cannot eat that late at night.
No.
Your girl's going to get indigestion in bed. I am a woman of a certain age.
Hello.
At least he was honest.
Right. I mean, yes, but my nutritionist, we have a deal. I cut off at 8 o'clock. The kitchen is closed at 8. I can't meet you at 11:30. What are you talking about?
For a slice?
Thank you. And then
Casual
what?
pint.
And then I gotta wake up early in the morning to do Legree before I go in. I'm gonna be exhausted. You're gonna ruin my life. I can't have this.
Can I tell you something? What you just said is the truer thing ever. That's what marriage does.
Wait, what?
It ruins your life in a good way, but it does ruin your life. I'm going to be honest with you. The guy who's career oriented, that would be very much me if I didn't have a Lucy. Promise you. Work, constant, on the move, constantly.
See, but that's attractive to me. Because I think people probably think, it's he's unavailable and that's what's attractive. No, I love someone's career and goal oriented. You could be working whatever fucking job you need to be working to pay the bills. Yeah. But if you also have a side thing of this is what I'm working towards, this is my why, I am all in on you. I am all in.
No, Lucy is probably the one thing that stops me from getting any type of work done.
See, I can't have that.
But I love her that much. It's a good thing. It's also a bad thing for my career. I'll be honest. There are times I have to straight ignore her because I just want to hang out with her on the couch. That's what I want to do. Aww. So I tell her all the time, I'm like, bro, you are the worst distraction ever to me because all I do is want to hang out with her. So it's a good and bad thing. So I'm just letting you know, marriage does ruin your life. It's a good thing when it does, but it does.
I mean, it's good that you want to hang out with her and stuff. I'm sure there's people out there, they're like, if I could just get a moment away. So it's good.
But I also want to achieve shit too. Like I got things in my head that I want to get done, but I have a Lucy who's very distracting. So
can you make a business out of holding your wife and watching Netflix? Can you make a business out of that? Can that be a new business goal?
I'm sure there's a business out there where you can. That's not what I want to do. So it's like
you're like, I want a separation of church and state, respectfully.
But there are too many things that I want to accomplish but you can't do that the same way you can single. So I can't. Like she comes home, after 8:00, that's time where I hang out with her because I'm at my desk all day and I can be at my desk all day. But I gotta hang out, carve out time for her. Like I can't be talking about work when I'm with her, even though I do and she hates it. But it's a good and bad thing being in a relationship like that.
Except for when you're talking about us.
Right.
She loves when you talk about us as your work. You
guys are work. So there is no discrimination across the board.
Dare you?
Damn.
You guys are work. You are the thing that takes me away from hanging out with her. So no, you are a part of this too. She is very gracious with her time. I promise you. There are Saturdays and Sunday mornings where I'd much rather be in bed with my wife, but I'm here hanging out with people like y'all. So as much as I enjoy this,
we don't want to keep you. We don't want to keep you from this glorious woman because we are a huge fan of Lucy.
We love a Lucy. We love Lucy.
We love a Lucy.
Big fan.
So with that, we're going to bring it to my favorite part of the show, which is your smiling faces moment. What have you grinned and bared it through this week? And if you out there listening have had a smiling faces moment this week, please send us a message, shoot us an email, let us know what you're grinning and bearing it through. Slide into our DMs because we really enjoy that. I want to know, what have you grinned and bared it through this week, Victoria?
Well, I am grinning and bearing it through right now. And I'm afraid if I get any auditions currently, because Andre, sweet boy, is very excited that I'm back and had a little, a fit of fury or something yesterday morning and ran across me early, 6 a.m. And he ran across my face. Oh, so I have a scratch on my cheek and on my eyelid. And I'm terrified because I can't really wear makeup right now because I don't want to.
Not the moneymaker.
I know. I can't infect the scratches. So I'm really hoping. Luckily, I have a callback, but it's pushed until June 2nd, which is a very long time to wait for a callback.
That's a long time. Yeah. You're going to be real
I'm
prepared.
hoping. I know. I'm hoping that no other things pop up that I'll need my face for. because he ran across it and I'm scared.
This will be great. Go on a date with that guy past 11 p.m. He won't even be able to see your face. It'll be so dark.
He won't. Very true.
Unless he's blind and he's got Braille. He's like,
he's like, oh, wait a minute. What's up with this?
Are you disfigured? You monster, you lied to me. Like, I just have a cat, sir. I'm a very excitable cat.
Very,
I'm
very.
sure you do.
A lot of energy.
Baby.
So, yeah.
We're going to have to talk to him about the face. Nope. You can't mess with your money.
No,
Andre,
this is
your money, buddy.
This is how you get prawns. You can't do that.
Okay.
Right.
That's how you get them shrimp,
buddy. Mike, what about you? What is your smiling faces moment this week? What have you grinned and bared it through?
Man, I hate waiting. I got an answer I need to get from something that I applied to, and then now I'm waiting for the puppy. So we got T-3 weeks until we go to Arizona and get the puppy. So like we're just like waiting around. We're doing things like preparing for the puppy. I put turf on my porch this weekend, which was dope. So Lucy says, "You keep looking at your grass." I was like, yes, but it looks great out there.
Nice.
I'll be on it yet.
Yeah, but but no, waiting. That's what I'm grinning and bearing, and I'll probably be doing that for the next 3 weeks. Waiting.
You are. Yep.
Love it. All right, Jess, what's your smiling faces moment?
I had the wildest commute home today. A young man with a flat brimmed hat and just a whisper of a mustache was driving his electric blue Prius. I just want to paint the picture here.
Please.
On the 405. And a nice, Toyota Camry was driving in front of me. And this electric blue Prius, helmed by this young flat brimmed hat man, boy, if you will, he zips in between the two of us and he is having a real big feeling. And he has got his arm out the window. I guess it's this window. He's got his arm out the driver's side window and he has a water bottle and he's flinging water at the car in front of him, just having a fit. And I don't know if the guy in front of him cut him off or whatever, but he's flinging water. And water's not going to do anything to the car. And it's not really reaching the car in front of him anyway. And then he throws the water bottle at the car in front of him. And then I'm like, okay, well, surely he's honk, 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 can't stop himself, just really worked up about this. And I'm like, all right, he's made his point. Like, I'm like, usually when I see stuff like that, I'm like, well, I will just get on over here. So I go to start to try and get over and he's not. No one's moving now. This man is controlling all 6 lanes of the 405 with his water bottle shenanigans. He pulls another water bottle out, starts flinging water again. I'm like, who are you inflicting damage on? Anyway, he's hogging. So I finally managed to get over and try to get around him because I don't want to be a part of this drama. And then I get kind of hung up in the traffic in the lane next to this young boy, shenanigans abound. And I look at the driver he's harassing because now we're like, eye to eye. And the driver looks at me like, what is happening? And I was looking at him like, are you okay? And he's like, I don't know. And the kid behind him, who's losing his mind, he sees me talking kind of through the window at this guy and game on. Now I'm the target. And he jerks over to my lane and he's honking and he's flinging his hand through the air like he had run out of water bottles to throw at this time. And so he was just pretending to throw things it's crazy. A little opening. I think the person next to me took mercy. A little opening happened and I zoomed out of that lane, kind of skirted on up as fast as I could away from this guy because he was nuts. And that was what I grinned and bared it through today, specifically. Just a little horror story on the 405 of a young man losing his mind. I don't think he was on drugs. I think he was having a temper tantrum.
Oh, because I was going to say, that's not 405 behavior. That's Hollywood behavior.
I think he was mad that he wasn't on Hollywood Boulevard.
He was there
having
it
a
is.
little moment. So, but the guy next to me that he was harassing, super cute. I was like, hello, who are you? Are we both being traumatized together?
Dear God.
Best meet cute. Put it in a pitch deck. Quick, get a log line.
This is a great story.
That is perfect.
It was so good. Yeah. Being harassed.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh, I wanted to tease for next week so everybody knows what to look forward to. We're doing something different next week. We have a guest. We're interviewing Lynn Harris. It's going to be so exciting. So it'll be a different format for you guys next week. So just FYI. Lynn Harris is the founder of Gold Comedy. It is a comedy school, networking, and content studio. And their focus is on helping women and non-binary folks thrive in their comedy careers. And she's had all these amazing guest speakers and advisors that help at the school, like Rachel Dratch and Margaret Cho. And people from her schools have gone on to be on like The Daily Show and SNL and everything. So we're super excited to talk to Lynn Harris next week. So look forward to that interview.
We cannot wait. We cannot wait to share Lynn with you. And we can't wait to hear what Lynn wants to share with us.
I know. Super excited.
It's going to be a great episode. I want to tease a little exciting info for everybody that Victoria announced that she booked a little something today. So not only do you get to see her do her fantastic comedy with the improv troops every first Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Broadwater. Also, you booked. Yeah. You booked a gig.
I did. I booked a comedy pilot, like an indie comedy pilot. I'm very excited. It is called Trauma Bond, so I'm looking forward to that.
Speaking of which,
right? Hello. I was like,
I have some ideas.
Perfect. I have notes. I have some inspo for you. So yes, I'm very excited. So we'll start getting on the schedule with that and doing table reads very soon. So all the things we've been talking about on the show, I'm about to get involved in all that stuff. Table read, social media push, filming, all the things. So excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If y'all don't know what a freaking star Victoria is, I do. So get on board.
Thank you.
Here's the biggest and most important thing that you can do is follow us. Here's the deal. If you love us, if you love Victoria, if you moderately tolerate me. And
now you love Jess.
You gotta love me. If you
I
love
know
watching Mike just shake his head just back and forth and I just like, stop talking about Jesus. My grandma's going to pray for you.
Catherine.
You've got to follow. If you want Grandma Catherine to pray for you, you've got to follow us on Instagram at smilingfaces_series. You can also find us on TikTok at smilingfaces_series. We are on Facebook for any person of any age, nothing targeted here, at Smiling Faces Series. We are also on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@Smiling Faces Series.
We also have an official website. It is smilingfacesseries.com. Shout out to our fiscal sponsor, Inclusivity Media, and our producer, Mike Bryant and Defiantly Me Productions.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget about the newsletter while y'all are so wrapped up in these.
Oh, gosh, you guys.
Don't forget about
ladies
that.
and gents, guys and gals, gays and straights, all of you beautiful humans, you do not know that we have an incredible online zine, if you will. Our souls, or our online.
Take your time, baby.
I almost said it. I almost said something I wasn't supposed to say. We have a newsletter and we want you to be a part of it because it's funny and fun and exciting. Not to mention, if you are subscribed to our newsletter, then you get exclusive access to join the wait list for, that's right, our new merch drop.
Merch.
Merch drop.
It's so cute. I'm so excited.
If you want access, if you want to see the hot new drops, it's exclusive just for the people who subscribe to our newsletter. You are able to find access to subscribe to our newsletter at our website, www.smilingfacesseries.com, or you can reach out, DM us, say, add my email address to that newsletter drop, and you can also have exclusive insider access to all of the things that are going on Smiling Faces that you do not hear about on the podcast here. And with that, I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Keep a good listen out for next week's episode and our guest.
Yay! Have an amazing weekend. Love you guys.
Have a great summer, hags.